We are here with Putterman from Life of a Prize Fighter, and we are going to be talking about mixed martial arts during a time where really there's nothing else going on. I mean, if you talk about sports, the UFC has been off for the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
So, well, actually, past month, I would say by now, right? Because the last one was like, I believe it was like March 14th or something. So almost about a month. And a little over a month. And so we're back here with the Fightlete report and back here with Talkin Shop, and we're going to be discussing big news that Dana White just dropped on us. UFC 249 still happening for April 18th. Of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov will not be a part of the show. He has elected to go to Russia. Actually, before that, he was actually on his way to Abu Dhabi, and then, the borders closed from countries. So he has no. So I want to first of all get your take on that. What happened? And people say, of course, Khabib is ducking Tony Ferguson.
That's nonsense. That's absolutely.
It's not. So from what you gathered, and you did probably watch the interview with Brett Okamoto as I did, that was not the case.
No, he's obviously being smart because UFC. It seems like the UFC didn't let him know. Yeah. Where they told him a location would possibly be in Abu Dhabi. So he moved him in this camp. It seemed like all the way out there, and they couldn't get back over the border, I think it was, to get back to Russia. So they're like, well, I'm just going to go home. Or they wouldn't let them get past in Abu Dhabi, so they went home. Right. And obviously now Trump put the restrictions on that you can't travel internationally currently. Right. But I think it's a smart idea, honestly. They shouldn't even have this event. The NBA's canceled. The MLB's canceled for right now. There shouldn't literally be anything else happening right now. I think they should just put everything on hold. The island thing is a cool idea. Yeah, it sounds like pretty badass, honestly. But I don't think this is a smart idea. I just think that the coronavirus is going to spread even more every time. It's getting worse. This is supposed to be the peak this week here, and I'm just trying to stay home. I'm not trying to go anywhere, so it's pretty crazy.
Same here.
I would just put everything on hold, honestly. It's cool they're trying to do everything, but we want to see Khabib fight Tony Ferguson for the undisputed lightweight title. We don't want to see Justin Gaethje fight Tony Ferguson. It's a great fight. Yeah. The question is Justin Gaethje in shape? Will he make the weight? Because he's a big guy. He probably walks around like 185, 190 probably. So him making that weight coming off the couch for 2 weeks, it's like, come on, man.
I'm with you, man. I was surprised, first of all, because I'm a pro wrestling fan, that the WWE had WrestleMania this past Sunday, that they were still running events. They made minimal contact from what I heard. They had a skeleton crew, basically only essential people. And many wrestlers were stopped before entering the performance center because they had a high fever or showed symptoms.
Yeah, I mean,
the card changed drastically too.
This won't go away for a while because people are okay, going on a walk is different than if you're just going to be, or you go out to get food or something. That's completely different. Like you're going through the drive-thru. Okay, it's minimal contact at all, right? And the thing is, people are just going to keep going out and out every single time, unless it's going to your job or anything like that. But people aren't treating this like it's a big thing. I mean, it's a pandemic for a reason. It should definitely be considered a big thing. I think it's big, especially for my current self. I have Crohn's disease, so my immune system's low. So if I'm in contact with anyone with any fever or anything, I could definitely catch that easily. And, I want people to just be smart. I mean, honestly, that's the only way this virus is going to go away. If we should go on a 14-day lockdown, everybody, 100%. It doesn't matter how the economy is going to go. Money is money. Money comes, money goes. But
only essential businesses,
exactly.
Like restaurants.
That's completely different, though. Definitely.
You know what I mean? No one's ever complained about UFC not doing that,
Exactly.
And, that they have the number one organization because they treat it like a professional sports organization. We've seen a lot of shady stuff from other promotions. I won't name anything, but that this is legit, that they do care about the health and safety. So we're just hoping that they have all the necessary precautions in place. I mean, this is a contact sport, and what's also scary is when blood's being spilled and splattered. Not only would that affect the fighters in the cage, but it would affect the ringside personnel.
I agree.
And,
yeah.
Sometimes a speck of blood or sweat, you can't see it, and it might land on you.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're that close. And I've been close to the cage for fights. Yeah. I've had blood spilled on my paper, and probably you never know. Like I'm sure some DNA got flown in my direction one way or another. When I'm that close, literally, I'm right up against the cage.
Yeah.
So that's what my concern is like spreading that not only to the fighters in the cage, but also to the everyone surrounding it. So I'll see how it is. But you want to look at the card? Let's look at the card if you want to.
See,
actually, let's go. There's about 5 fights that were announced for the main card, and then there's a preliminary card and an early prelims card. So, which is interesting because like when you go on ESPN, the prelim card features Ngannou and Rosenstruck.
Right, that should be at least the third fight.
Yeah, I think that should be the main card. We know that Bilal Muhammad and Lyman Good was canceled.
Yes, Lyman Good's injured.
Yeah, and Cyril Gane versus Shamil Abdurakhimov is canceled as well. That was a heavyweight fight. So it looks like they won't have like the full 12 fights. Also, Ben Rothwell and Jan Vellante was canceled. But still, we got Alvey, Spann. We still mostly all these fights are still happening.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he in his last fight he got disqualified. That was such a weird.
What was it? Taylor?
Yeah, no, what he was fighting Ben Sassoli, right? I think Ben Sassoli.
I couldn't tell you the guy's name, but it was crazy. I saw the corner. I was like, is that legal? I was like, wait, that's illegal, right? I'm like, they had to go through the commission to be able to do that. But how the commission did they? I can't remember. I kind of remember a little bit of the fight. Did they stop right away, or did them?
Yeah, they stopped right away, and they counted as a disqualification.
Okay, I was trying to remember. I remember him doing the inhaler. I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, he must have got that cleared.
Yeah, apparently they said ahead of time they checked, and it wasn't going to be an issue. And then I think it was an issue if you use it before the fight, but not during the fight. You know?
Yeah, I understand that for sure, but.
And it was just a weird circumstances. Like some of his fights just have weird circumstances.
It seems like.
Remember when he in his that big UFC fight, he just went after that guy, just kneed him in the head.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
Crazy.
And you know the rules by this point. You need to know the rules. I mean, he fought one fight outside UFC, fought Contender Series. You would think in his debut he'd be ready, but unfortunately he wasn't.
Yeah, man, it's that's part of the sport, but unfortunately he got disqualified there too.
Definitely. And what we also got going on is Greg Hardy is taking on Yogan De Castro, the heavyweight division. I am not the biggest fan of Greg Hardy, but you know what? He's got knockout power. He's really adapting himself to the MMA world. I'm just not a fan of what he did before. You know what I mean?
That's understandable though.
Yes. And any thoughts on him?
Yeah, it seems like he owned up to his mistakes, and obviously we're not perfect. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are going to view it that way, of course. And what can you do about a situation like that? It's just past, and you can look at that two other ways. I mean, you can look in the future, or you can look past that, or you can still dwell on that. So, just kind of seeming like looking forward at that. And he's a human being. We all make mistakes, and definitely, I don't hone anything that he did before. Definitely, that is completely wrong. But seeing it now, seems like he's got his head on his shoulders and has gotten better.
And then we've got also Stevens and Katter, and I'm excited for that one, 145-pound division. Yeah, that's a fight that just I think this has been in the works, right? Like it was supposed to happen before, or
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was supposed to happen before, but I mean it's crazy what happens with all that, but it's a good fight. Jeremy Stevens has been in the game for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, I remember him fighting Anthony Pettis.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
That's crazy, like how long ago that was, and now. So, and Calvin Kattar's great too. So
yeah, he is.
I think he knocked out Lamas, correct?
Yes, he knocked out Ricardo Lamas. He lost his beat in the Magomed Sharipov, and I believe Jeremy lost his last fight.
Who did Jeremy fight last? It wasn't Aldo.
Yeah, he lost to Aldo.
Was it Aldo the body shot? I can't remember.
That was the body shot. Yeah, they got him. I believe that was his last fight. It might have had one after that. But I know Kattar, his last fight was the lost as a beat.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one. And then the next fight was the Nico Price and Vicente Luque. And man, Nico, did you watch that last fight Nico Price was in? Oh my God, he got wrecked. He got wrecked in his last fight.
Who was it against?
I forget. I had to go look at it, but he got wrecked. No, Vicente Luque also, his last fight, he got destroyed too.
Yeah, he fought Wonder Boy though. So he can get a pass. He fought Wonder Boy. It's like
he got knocked out cold.
Yeah,
right?
No.
He got knocked out.
That's lost by decision.
Oh, that was a decision. Okay, that was a decision. But wasn't there a fight with Vicente Luque he fought and he was like knocking out everyone, and then the guy he fought knocked him out. I remember that though. That was like a crazy knockout too. Yeah. I mean, there's so many crazy finishes. Like, it's crazy to think these guys keep on fighting a few months later after getting knocked out. Like, I would take at least 6 to 8 months off if that happened to me. But wouldn't you?
100%. I don't even fight, and I would. It's like, hey, I've trained for fun many times. Obviously, I train at Rufus Sport, but I mean, if I got knocked out, let's say I got knocked out in training on accident, I would be taking at least 8 months off.
Right.
Exactly. Concussion, like they suck. I'd rather tear my ACL than get another concussion.
Oh yeah, for sure, so, man.
I would just take 8 months off for sure. Maybe even 8.
If I go with this fight, I guess I'm going with Luque.
I'm gonna go with him too.
Yeah, he seems like the more solid fighter from what I've seen recently. You know, he was on a great winning streak, and then someone got in there and just demolished him. I remember that was just before the Wonder Boy fight. Then he dropped the Wonder Boy fight, which I was surprised that he dropped the Wonder Boy fight like that.
He was doing well early, but then Wonder Boy is just so fast with his hands and able to keep his range with his kicks and punches that is stifling him and giving them problems.
Yeah, that was a great fight. But he was on a huge winning streak, man. Like he was on like almost 6 fight winning streak, and he was knocking out people too, which is crazy when I look at his record. But that was just a tough loss, man. I mean, you know, that happens early on in your career, and you got to get past it. So I think Luque is still going to be one of those guys to look out for, 170 pounds. You know, he's very impressive, and he's ranked number 12, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so he's still got time to develop for sure.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the thing is, when you're taking on a veteran like Stephen Thompson, talking about Wonder Boy makes him very, very difficult to read.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony Pettis had a problem in the fight. The first, everybody's had some problem with him. Even Darren Till. That's why it turned out to be a boring fight. It wasn't an exciting one. Wonder Boy has this techniques that he just finds accurate. You know what I mean? Accuracy and consistency. You know, and it was crazy. Pettis knocked him out. I thought Wonder Boy was taking that fight. You know,
Anthony Pettis played it smart with him because Wonder Boy is very fast with his hands and his kicks too, but he uses his hands well. He disguises them really well with his kicks. So Anthony was able to do pretty much like a Muay Thai. He looked like a Muay Thai fighter out there, chopping at the legs, throwing the low kicks. Not throwing that many combos. You would throw like 1-2 or a hook cross or anything like that. And, I mean, obviously we saw it was another insane KO by Anthony Pettis. That Superman punch off the cage is insane, especially with a knockout.
Insane.
And didn't knock the guy out.
I know. Just a few.
And live up to your Showtime, your nickname. That's pretty badass in my opinion. That really proved Anthony Pettis is one of the best fighters in the world. So, yeah, that was
definitely. He proved his worth with that one.
And learning from, like, obviously watching Tyron Woodley, his teammate.
Yeah.
So, and Duke Rufus is a machine.
That's true.
That's studying because his background is karate, I believe. So, I think his dad taught him. They had his own taekwondo or karate gym when he was young. So Duke knew the recipe to defeat him all 3 times, with Tyron both times, and for Anthony Pettis. So it was good.
That second fight with Tyron was close. I thought Steven won the. I thought he possibly won the second one.
I thought the first fight
was a really close one. The second fight. That was close.
The first fight, in my opinion, was clear. I was like, well, okay, so Tyron dropped him a few times, 10-8 rounds. He went for the guillotine. Wonderboy was on top for maybe a minute and a half. I mean, who are you going to give the round to? A guy that got a 10-8 round or a guy that was on top of you for a minute and a half? It's like MMA judging is just, I don't even know what to say. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought the second fight was close.
Yeah, but moving forward, we have to see. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought the second one was like close.
Way closer. It
was one of those razor decisions. Yeah. But Wonderboy, he's right. I know he talked about fighting Kobe Covington recently when Ariel Helwani. I mean, apparently said just some of Ariel Helwani's interviews recently. He said he wanted Kobe Covington.
Huh? I mean,
we'll see. I think Kobe Covington's a money.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah.
Colby Covington.
I look forward to seeing Leon Edwards back. I think he's probably a great guy. Yeah.
I think Colby Covington should fight Tyron Woodley. That was the fight that was going to happen a while.
Yeah, I thought.
So maybe I would say instead of doing Tyron and Leon Edwards, I mean, obviously Leon Edwards, that's not fair at all. But as you've seen in the UFC or just MMA in general, it's not fair. So it's like the matchups sometimes aren't going to be fair. And what are the fans going to want to see more of, Tyron and Colby or Tyron and Leon Edwards? So I'd rather see Colby, but they're both two stylistically amazing matchups. I'd like to see them both, but I'd rather go with the Colby fight, honestly.
Yeah, same here. I'm interested. I think Colby's people consider it like a money fight because he hypes up the fight. He talks his big game. He stirs a lot of people the wrong way, but we all know what he's doing. I mean, he's playing the character. He knows the pro wrestling deal, right? And so that's what he's doing. He's doing things to intentionally piss people off. And I know I recently saw that with Daniel Cormier talking about Stipe today in his interview with Helwani, and he was talking about how, Stipe doesn't play the game.
There you go.
You don't hype up the fight. You don't talk. Yeah.
You just sometimes maybe have to a little bit.
I agree.
It gets the views.
And there's this rematch.
So.
Mm-hmm. And that was the last fight I was in Vegas for, man. I want to see that rematch between Steve Bay and DC.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
I hope we get to. You think we'll get to see that?
They will run it back. They have to.
Yeah, watch that thing with Cormier talk. It was interesting.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Just to say, his guy could have you complain, a lot more zeros behind your check if you talk trash and
there you go.
You play the game, you know what I mean, or do whatever you have to do.
Yeah,
he doesn't do that. That's why people were moving Brock Lesnar and Dan Cormier because look at all the numbers that drew that little in cage interaction,
Yeah, it would have been crazy if those two would have fought. I just want to do it full time, so I'm trying to I'm only 23, but I just turned 23, but I'm trying to make it my full time job. I don't want to do this as a hobby.
Same here.
Too passionate about it to make it just a hobby. Yeah. Working out's a hobby. Yeah, it's a part of life, but if I can do this full time and at my age, hopefully I can do it. Working for My MMA News is helping a lot with me getting credentials from Bellator. I know I just was when I was at Bellator in Connecticut. It's nice. I think it was Bellator 241. It's nice, just talking to other people, talking to Bellator media members or their people and stuff. So it's great. Starting to venture off to talk to other people because at the end of the day, I want to do this full time. I'm not in this for just to say I did it. That's not what that. So.
Another fighter I want to talk about from the Rufus sport is Laura Sanchez. I saw she's signed by PFL.
Yeah, she just got signed by the PFL now, and
it's crazy for her. I mean, she had one professional fight, right, or two?
I think it was one.
Yeah, she won at Chosen Few Fighting Championships. I interviewed her after that fight.
Yeah, I was there. I was filming Gabriel Vonderlei. He's amateur as well. He was making his debut, so I was doing life for a prize fighter for him.
But it's perfect for her because she's 155 pounds. She doesn't want to go down. So it's going to be perfect. They have a 155-pound division. And I think they need talent. Do you think she's ready for Professional Fighter League?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, but I've seen I've known Laura Sanchez for years, since I've been 18. So I've seen Laura Sanchez evolve a lot as a fighter, especially her being an amateur and her now being a professional. Yeah. I think she's ready. She's at that age. She's mature, and she's very lengthy, which is very helpful for her style. Especially she's got a very nice. Her striking is very crisp and clean. She has some of the best hands I've ever seen.
Definitely.
Well, and I'm not just saying that just cause, but her precision is amazing with her punches. I'm like, when I saw her I'd see her hit pads with Scott Cushman, one of the striking coaches at Rufus Sport. I'm like, wow. So you can just sit there and watch it because you're like, wow, this is dope. Like, this is how you know she has got great hands. Her kicks are good too. So, I mean, I just think she's evolving a lot as a mixed martial artist, and I can definitely see her doing well in PFL.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll have her on the show, hopefully. And hopefully PFL still, obviously everything's up in the air, but they still have a few months before they start. So
definitely,
hopefully it gets to happen, or maybe a slight delay. I know they always want to. They have to adhere to a schedule. Either they do it, they start at a certain time, or they don't, because if they start late, then they're not going to make it to the New Year's Eve finale. And remember, the fighters are fighting I believe, a total of 5 times.
A lot.
Who's ever makes the finals, that's like their 5th fight in 4 months. So we're hoping that PFL can start, and that's really cool. They're on ESPN as well, so that's great for Laura, man. I'm excited to see her to take that next step in her career.
I agree.
And Kayla Harrison better watch out, right?
Yeah, you gotta watch out. I mean, for all of it, but I think she's ready.
Kayla's amazing, though. I think Kayla's amazing.
I don't think I know who that is, honestly.
Yeah, she's the PFL champion. She's a former what Ronda Rousey judo. She's a former judo gold medalist.
Was she at the press conference for when Khabib and all of them were there for Ali Abdelaziz had that? Was she there at press conference? That was her?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, I haven't seen her fight, but I know who that is now. Okay.
She's a beast.
I was like, is that her? I'm like, I can't remember if that was her or not.
I actually saw her debut at PFL in Chicago. It was her MMA debut. It's going to be fun. I think Ngannou and Rosenstruck's going to be an interesting fight too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. Yeah, I can't wait for this. UFC 249 is going to be awesome to finally watch it and see how this all unfolds here in the next week or two now till the fight. So I'm very excited to see this for sure.
Yeah, Rosenstruck, he's the one that knocked out Overeem in the 5th round.
Yeah, his lip. I could not believe that. Overeem was winning too. I was wow.
Yes.
Way.
That was a huge win, and maybe he'll get another one. But if I have to go with one guy, I mean, Ngannou is always, like game. Like, I've never seen him really, like, the only fight that he was really bad in was Derek Lewis, right? And the Stipe fight, obviously, I don't think he was ready for Stipe. But since then, he's been an unstoppable at heavyweight, and I feel like he could be the next heavyweight champion.
Definitely.
UFC. Yeah, so I'm going to go with him on this one. I'll go with Ngannou.
Me too.
I think he was being overhyped to begin with, and the pressure was building on him. When Dana White said, "Oh, he could be a rock star like Anderson Silva, an international superstar," and he was getting compared to Anderson Silva, I think that's kind of like, you know what I mean? And Stipe derailed that hype train, man.
Definitely, yeah. Stipe looked good in that fight.
And stuff. So, well, I think that's all I got, man. How about you?
Yeah, man. I think that's all I got as well.
I think that's all I got. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you again being on Talkin Shop.
Appreciate it.
Of course,